And for the people that surround me, a lot of times we're not in the communities we grew up in anymore, but unlike a lot of them, I stay connected because I love my family and I love my people. And as African Americans, there are so many things we're lacking because we don't obtain the knowledge. So if we don't have it, we don't share it. And growing up, you know, my family was from a very small town, not even on the map, called Noonan, Georgia. And our families grew their foods. I mean, my mother had a donkey named Jim. So with that, I say we often had very fresh things to eat, things to indulge in that were, it was enjoyable for us to eat peaches and grapes and fruits and things of that nature. But becoming a part of Feeding America was a blessing for me because I was very unaware, and yet again holding myself responsible about the types of effects that hunger was having on our children. And of course you can look around and see obesity. But unfortunately for us and our people, we assume if your mother's big, your father's big, you're big bone, that's just how it's gonna be. But what I have learned through Feeding America is that we control that. Just as we always say we control our own destiny, we can control what happens with our children and with us. And what we have to do is lead by example and not just speak to them. So with me being 30 years old and finding out at 25 years old I had high blood pressure, I had to do some self-assessing and some self-checking, which led to me wanting more information about organizations like Feeding America. And as I learned that all of these children are starving, and if they're not starving, they're being fed things that will kill them. After taking blood pressure medicine for over 6 months and watching my hair begin to fall out, headaches begin to come, I realized that there was something that I could do to make this easier on me and easier on my children, which represent the entire generation that we've spoken of here today. And I was talking earlier, just before I met Congresswoman Fudge, and I found out that my son had been taking double the portions of his lunch to school. I was very curious, is he just that hungry? Or is he doing something else with this food? I mean, he's big on saving his money. Is he selling it? What is he doing? And his teacher called me one afternoon, and this is what heightened me to just say that there's no way that I cannot be a part of this. I mean, I take this just as serious as I do my job, my children's health. Your children are my children because our children will interact and deal with each other for the rest of their lives. And he was actually taking food to school because a classmate of his had not brought lunch to school for over a week. Now you assume in these elite neighborhoods and Christian academies that it's not affected there. You know, there's nothing happening there. And this young woman had not been eating, and his teacher said, I want to tell you something. We as adults have a tendency to not acknowledge things that are right around us. But our children speak volumes to the things that we ignore. Because he noticed she had not been eating, so he would place food in her desk to make sure that she didn't feel uncomfortable about the fact that she didn't have any food. And she would eat the food and thank him as they left school. So their little hug, what I thought was a crush, was a thank you amongst people that cared. So if all of us in this room today care enough, if we love enough, if we share enough, we can prevent the things that our children are suffering from. If we take responsibility today, the possibilities for our children are limitless. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that has allowed me to be here. This won't be the last time you see me. This is just the beginning. Because this is just the beginning of our time. And I just want to say thank you very much. All the honorable members here, Chairman, everyone that's allowed me to be a part, because all of these things are affecting all of us. Please don't look at me and think that I'm not a part of the everyday struggle, because this is not how it started for me. You start with what some people call nothing. I call everything, because that's the love of God, family, and now the knowledge we need to move forward. So hopefully today is the beginning for all of us.